Welcome back, welcome back. Beautiful day out. Today, just want to say, get the fuck up. I get it's hard. I understand you've been through some shit, you know. You gotta realize though, like, we all been through some shit. And you're wasting your time and your life. The mere fact that you can listen to this proves you have more than a lot of people in this world. And you're wasting your time. You're not. Maybe you are. But I don't see many people, including myself, working at 100 in life. Most of us don't even know how. It's understandable at times because, many of us don't have the greatest beginnings and don't have teachers, but that never stopped any of the great people that I've come to learn about. Worrying about school or whatever it is to get shit done. We all think we gotta do so much more. And that's not real life. That's what they showed us. You gotta plan, and everything's gotta go this way and that way. Nah. No one's in charge of life. What I come to understand now, being older and actually living through some things and learning and listening to many other people from the past to now. Life is everything in life is like it's like growing food. I think that's why the Bible, the Lord chose to speak like that. The Bible speaks in many metaphors. And a lot of the times it talks about this seed that you gotta plant. And if you take it literal, you imagine like a tree. You know what I mean? Now, the way they explain it, is the same way we all understand how a tree or vegetables or whatever it is you're trying to grow. You don't have to grow up being a farmer to understand the basics. We're all shown it. Now, in order to get the tree, the fruit, vegetables, whatever it is, you have to plant the seed, or you can't get it. Simple as that. Like, you got an apple seed, right? You want apples. If you don't physically get up and plant the seed, you can't have apples. You have an apple seed, so you have apples. But unless you do the work, you just got a seed. Now, as I explain this, you have to understand the tree is your life, your mind, your goals. Things you want to do. Right? And the seed is your ideas. We all have seed. We all have imagination, which gives us seed, thoughts, things we want to do, things we want to be like, things we want to become, right? If you don't take your seed and plant it in the soil's life, all of it. Not the people per se or the things. I'm talking about the thing we seem to not understand as people. Life. We call it life, but it's more like, to me, the words, the way it is. Because it's the way it is. You can't get the apple without planting the seeds. It's just the way it is. Now, even when you plant the seeds, if you actually learn about farming or see or anything about that, you'll know that it always doesn't work the first time. Sometimes you actually have to learn what you're doing, and yeah, like life. You have to figure out what it takes to plant that seed. Like, you want apples, you can't plant an orange seed. You want vegetables and shit, you can't use the same soil and can't use the same nutrients and can't use the same work. Some things in your mind grow different. And this is where everybody gets frustrated. Because there's so many choices and there's so many ways to do shit that we end up getting lost. It's because we always forget. The tree doesn't have a plan. It just is. It is what it's supposed to be. It does what it's supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? What did the Lord make you for? A lot of people need to ask this question. Because everybody's chasing the same life. Rich, notoriety, all these things. And the new saying is generational wealth. If I hear that word one more time, Generational world. Well, that makes me laugh. Because when you're on the bottom for so long and you actually study, and you see how people actually got generational wealth, right? You go back hundreds of years and you see what their generations was doing before they had their businesses. Yeah, you'll understand why you won't have generational wealth in that way. Because you're not willing and you're not able to do what they did. You're welcome. Have a good day. Oh, scared of doggy. You gotta be nice every now and again. It's for good karma. Comes back. But back to generational wealth. To be able to have a generation is wealth. See, I don't know if I'm right, but if you can make a generation, aren't you wealthy? What's the point of making a generation? Why do you want generational wealth? Everyone says the same thing. So I can have my family and they could do things and they have well off. Okay, everybody you see in the world wants that. And we're a majority of us not making that level of generational wealth. And it's not about that we can't do it or whatever, but to me, it's what is it to you? Because like I said, when I ask people, they give the same answers. They point to these people that they don't even realize they're pointing to. Because you say these things. And like I said, when you go look how they really got started, you're not doing that. You can't do that. So if you can't do it the way they did it, how you gonna do it? Has to be a new way, right? Or maybe it has to mean something else. Now, to me, I only got a couple minutes left. I wish I could get these ideas out better. Like I just said, to be able to have one. Why do you need to be wealthy to have generational wealth? See, the one thing I learned from watching and learning about the people that have it is their forefathers that actually thought of this idea and cared about their descendants, their generations, years and years, the ones they would never see. See, they understood and cared so much about their family that they would never see. That they put in the hard work and they built the beginning, the foundation of things that would lead to generational wealth. Meaning they wouldn't have the wealth. They wouldn't spend it. They wouldn't, you don't get to see the promised land. You're too busy trying to get them there. See, they understood that. I don't hear people talk like that When they talk generational wealth, they're talking like they're gonna be there fucking being celebrated and doing backflips with their generations. You're gonna be dead. You get that? Generational wealth and building something that means something for your family and generations. I can't stand when people say this without having this in their brain that real generational wealth for some of us, majority of the ones that started that whole reality and concept, they were back then fighting wars and putting in work and saving money and taking over lands and all this other stuff like work. Then after that, people were building generational wealth off of business and ownership of things, and they were putting in work, saving their money. You think all of these Steve Jobs guys are rich because they're running around in Maseratis and fucking $1 million suits? They're not. They're building generational wealth so their generations can do that. All love, all praise to the Most High.